Chapter 4. Way Well. I ask the parasite to tell me its thoughts. It tells me that thoughts are a product of the conscious mind, and it lies beyond such trivial processes than simple material. I ask it to humor me. If I am to host my body until it is no longer mine, then it can at least do that. It stays silent, slithering around in a cycle of deconstruction to reconstruction. What matter is there to tweak in a dream? It finally replies, the way we name each other. But many of us share the same name, a facet of our identity and a telling sign of our mass reproduction. I smile. Let me name you Parasite. It grants me the privilege, and I begin to think. A thought to Descartes, his very entry into phenomenology, was to confirm the individual's existence. He doubted because he was. It was very close to the truth. He doubted because we are. The parasite would not appreciate a name that had already been given. And with so many names and sounds assigned to humans throughout time, I cannot assure its originality. A Herculean task for a mere mortal, nevertheless. I shall try. I have brief memories of before birth. Many would call these false memories. But there is no false or truth, only occurrences. It was not blackness, but shapes of unexplainable color that ran through one another, as if they were galloping spectral horses. These amalgamations of fracturing wavelengths burned, cindering into the backdrop of an endless gorge. The very witnessing of such things suggests I must have had eyes, but I did not blink. I felt nothing, and I was not astral either. I was a currency of divine electricity cascading through the neuron of the hive. Maybe my sentience had activated early imprinting such a distortion as some quasi-memory. There was an interlocking of sizzling colors. The gorge opened into infinity, and as I began to feel the presence of something physical, a strange noise clapped loudly as I briefly heard the thought of God itself. There are no letters to phonetically replicate the sound, not in any language I know, so I will settle for the closest representation I can muster. Parasite, I shall call you Webu. That is my name, and so you shall share it until one is victorious. A fizzling of fibers runs through my spine and transfers into my legs as if hot water was being poured down them. The backdrop of war-torn society fades from defined to abstract. The parasite is reaching closer to the hive, and there has yet to be any objection. A strange play for the creator of all to willingly let itself be consumed by a foreign entity. Humans have rights. Such things began with Aristotle's ponderings on justice, which only applied to free men. Does the hive not consider itself free? I'm running out of time. My human portraits will have no artistic value to the parasite and the hive mind. I have no tools at my disposal to prolong my sentience or join this match. I'm just a vessel, a form that serves some significance past my own understanding. The parasite infected me as I lead to the mind that encompasses us all. But why are humans of so much significance? The entire universe exists in this delusion also, an infinite expansion comprised of complexities that deepen in nuance further than anything on Earth. Would it not be easier to create a singular mind that alludes to an infinity that does not truly exist, rather than an actual infinite cosmos comprised of unfathomable detail? I believe such a thing was referred to as a Boltzmann brain, an ambitious thought experiment that scratched the surface of the real. Many have been aware, fleetingly. Jung called it the collective unconscious, although he was not referring strictly to a hive mind. Strange, through the lens of philosophy, I can only attribute one theory to the creator: solipsism. It believes it is all that exists, and we are shadows cast against the wall to mimic shapes and forms. Plato spoke of the allegory of the cave in a similar fashion. Does my introspective inquiry not dispute the hive? Surely the act of introspection into such forbidden knowledge refutes the very notion that only a singular consciousness is truly in control. It speaks to me. I hear it. The parasite hears it. Why would it speak to itself? A further sign of schizophrenia, perhaps, surely, although my notions of reality are based on illusions and human-made social constructions. Surely such things must harbor the DNA of what was once original. How can a truly original fiction come to an inception with no inspiration? Everything must be an echo from a source. So what is the source for the hive? Such questions remind me of my questions about the Christian God as a child. If God made the universe, then who made God? Where does all of this begin? A big bang, nothing reversing itself. A singularity became plural. A single color produced the entire spectrum. One atom made infinity. A hive created all, and all is the product of one. Such binaries are unequal, and the scales are tipped into oblivion.